Welcome to the Underground Nation podcast. Today's guest is a man who doesn't fit inside one label because he's built a voice that moves across worlds. Known to many as Manny Fresh, also known as Alcatraz 187, and recognized by his real name Manuel A. Zamora Jr. This guest represents authenticity in its rawest form. From underground media and close ties with the ICP and the Shaggy Show, to independent professional wrestling, to hosting his own podcast Talks HIT, and delivering honest, real-name commentary through his YouTube reviews, his presence is defined by consistency, truth, and unfiltered perspective. This is not a conversation about trends. This is a conversation about identity, independence, and staying real in a world that rewards masks. Please welcome today's guest, Manny Fresh, aka Alcatraz 187, in conversation with your host with the ghost, Bounce Ball Boogie, on the Underground Nation podcast.
Underground Nation, tap the fuck in. Tonight isn't about polish, it's about presence. It's about someone who moves between worlds without ever changing who they are. In an era where authenticity is marked with truth is filtered, tonight's guest chose a different lane. Consistency over clout, honesty over algorithms. Whether operating inside the underground media circles, moving within the juggalo world, stepping into independent pro wrestling, hosting raw conversations on his own podcast, or delivering no-nonsense firearm reviews on his own YouTube channel. This is someone who never performs for approval. No scripts, no personas, no safe answers. Just real conversation with someone who lives that most people only talk about. Underground Nation, I'm your host with the ghost, Bounce Ball Boogie. And tonight, we welcome the one and only Manny Fresh, also known as Alcatraz 187.
Hey, brother. Thank you very much for having me, man. That was a fucking awesome intro, bro. That's got to be my best one yet that I've had. That's fucking awesome, man. Seriously, I got goosebumps, brother. I got goosebumps.
That was my goal, man.
Wrestling days. Takes me back to the wrestling promo days.
Hell yeah, and you start walking down the ring ready to crush with your state president suit on, like, what's good on me?
Yeah, man. Hell yeah. Alcatraz mode. Alcatraz 187 mode.
Hell yeah. I try to stay in Alcatraz 187 mode daily.
Yeah, man. It's a good mode to be in, man.
Hell yeah, especially when you're out here grinding, doing business, talking to a bunch of fake people that just want to take you for your cash. Sometimes you got to give it to them. Give them the business.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do, man. And you got to do it. You try to do it the nicest way possible. But sometimes some of these cats just like want to get these hands, man. And I'm like, oh, man, I can't give it to you for free. You know what I'm saying? But you asking for it. You know what I'm saying? It's just it, you know? But, hey, man, it's just something you got to roll with. I learned that from the clowns, man. I learned that from the clowns that, you know, of course, in including the wrestling business, you got to have tough skin. But like I said, you still got to respect your fans and the family. But, you know, sometimes you got to know when to say when. You know what I mean? And how to say it. You know what I'm saying? And I watched it by them because, you know, they get hated on all the time, especially by people that are called juggalos. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, what the fuck? And then they're like, oh, what about this? And what about that? And what about this? And what about that? And they're just like, anyways, you know what I mean? You know? So I learned a lot of it from them, man. I've been learning a lot from them. They're great dudes, man.
Oh, absolutely. Just let it roll off your back, like like water off a duck's back.
Yeah, pretty much. You got to.
Yo, Manny, for people meeting you for the first time on this podcast, who is Manny? Who is Manny Zamora beyond the aliases?
Okay, Manny Zamora is somebody who grew up just like the clowns, man. I grew up. I wasn't super poor. Like we didn't never go without running water. We never went without electricity. My dad's bust his ass for over 30 years at the General Motors plant here in Saginaw, Michigan. I was blessed. I have an older sister and a younger sister. So I am the only boy and I am the middle child. So fuck. But everybody's like, you got spoiled and this and that. Fuck no, I didn't, man. And then both my sisters were very pretty. So I had to deal with that shit. And then, you know, the fake ass friends just trying to hook up with my sisters or whatever.
Oh, no.
It's like, so I had to deal with that shit. But I grew up, like I says, my mom and dad tried to keep me out of the streets as best as possible. But, you know what I'm saying? They did as best as they could. They even switched me schools when I was in the elementary, because from kindergarten through the 3rd grade, I was in this one elementary school that just down the street, Emerson Elementary, and it was pretty rough. You know what I mean? I was just following along suit. You know what I mean? Fucking getting in the office like at least twice a week, and then getting my ass. That's when they could paddle you. So my principal had the thick paddle and shit, and smoked my ass, man. And
man,
damn it! And then if they called home, then I'd get my ass whooped by mom and dad. You know what I'm saying? So I got a triple ass whooping that day. You know what I mean? So I was going down a bad road, and moms and dad were like, "Look, we ain't gonna let this shit happen. We're gonna try our best." So they moved me to a different school, and I went to a different school, and across the bridge, the west side used to be really nice back in the day. That was the nicer side of town, because on the ghetto side, you had the north side, east side, and south side. And the west side was the nicer area. And so I went to a school over there from 4th grade to 6th. And then we have middle schools over here. I mean, we had junior highs. So I went to a junior high school from 7th, 8th, and 9th grade. And that's when it started getting into a little bit more trouble again, but not too much that they moved out. You know what I mean? Yeah, you know, you know what I'm saying? Back in the day, you kept your parents, you know, and that's before the whole internet and cell phones and Facebook and all this other shit.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't be able to get away with shit.
Yeah, so like I said, back in the day, we had fucking slam books that we would fucking just roll. Like, who do you have a crush on? And then you write somebody's name, and then you go back, and if you see your name, then you go back to the slam book to see who's number 31. And you know what I'm saying? That's how we did back in the day. You know what I'm saying? And but anyways, I got out of the 9th grade. I went on up to the 10th grade, and I just started fucking up, man. And mom and dad were like, "Nope, we're done with this." And we're like, we're done with this. We got to call it. We got to do something else. So they had saved up for a long time, and they ended up paying off that house that we were in. Unbeknownst to us, because I mean, at the time we didn't really worry about our parents' finances. So they paid that house off on South Park so that we would always have it in the family. And then they bought a new house in this little town right on the outskirts of Saginaw. It's called Bridgeport.
Right.
And at that time, Bridgeport was a lot nicer. And then, of course, you know, me and my friends had to fuck some of that shit up. So, yeah, man. So, fuck it. We start hanging out. I started going to Bridgeport High School. And then start getting in the streets again, man. And you know what I'm saying? Like, my friends, I'm not gonna name drop gangs because that's not really my thing. But my friends weren't getting along with this other gang. You know what I'm saying? And so they formed a gang. My friends formed a gang. And so for the longest time, we all hung out together, but I didn't get in the gang for the longest time. So then finally one summer, I was just like, you know what? Fuck it, man. You know what I'm saying? I might as well be, because their enemies would see me and be pissed off and start shit with me just because I was friends with them. So
guilty by association.
Yeah, exactly. That happens a lot of times, like anywhere, man, pretty much.
Yeah.
And so then I was just like, well, fuck it. I might as well be down. So anyways, man, long story short, I got D'd in, and then I became one. And then, of course, like I says, we had our beefs, different places, the malls, fucking everywhere, you know what I'm saying? And then they start getting more and more members from Bridgeport. So we start bringing our shit in Bridgeport, and Bridgeport was like, what the fuck is this? And then you know, the African-American, the black gangs start bringing their shit from Saginaw over there because they were related to people and stuff like that, and they had the same enemies. So it was like the same situations. We weren't beefing with them, but they had other cats that were beefing with them, and then sometimes we would even hook up and have each other's backs and shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, anyways, long story short, come my senior year, I was gonna play football. Man. I hadn't played football since the 9th grade.
Oh, damn.
I was in the fucking I forgot what they call it, the pre-workouts.
Yeah.
And so one of the coaches was like, "Damn, man, this dude's pretty strong and this and that, big dude." And fuck, we'd like to have him on the team. He wants to play defensive tackle, because that's what I was before. So I was just like, yeah. And they were like, look, man, if you're serious, we'll probably have you starting. And I'm like, I'm down, man. Whatever you guys need, I'll do. And I was trying to go down another road, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
And my dad was like, look, and your parents know you better than anybody else. So my pops was like, look, he pulled me to the side. He said, I'm gonna shoot you straight.
Oh.
He said, look, either you're gonna work, because I got a job at McDonald's. So he said, either you're gonna work and graduate, or you're gonna play football and graduate. But you ain't doing all three, because graduation is not an option. You're gonna graduate. But I know you're my kid. And if you try to do all three, you're gonna fuck up. And you're gonna fuck up your grades. And so I was just like, okay. So, me coming from the streets, I needed money. So, because of course the pretty girls wanted somebody that had some money in their pocket, this and that. So I chose working at Mickey D's, man. My first job, flipping burgers and cleaning the fucking parking lot and all that shit. And Friday night, I'm working Friday night, and then here comes everybody after all the football games. And,
oh, yeah, to the McDonald's you're working at.
Yeah, man. I was right across the street from the high school, man. And I'm sitting here fucking with a broom and the fucking dustpan and shit, and everybody else is having a good time and this and that. I'm just like,
God damn it.
But
especially as a kid, you're like, damn, I'm missing out.
Yeah, man. I was like, I can't fucking hang out with these chicks and shit and kicking with the fellas and shit, you know what I mean?
Right.
And they never really made fun of me, you know what I'm saying? Because they respected my hustle, but it's just, I felt like Rudolph. I wasn't part of the reindeer games, man. You know what I'm saying? So I was just like, man, fuck this shit a little bit. But lo and behold, I worked all year. I ended up graduating, barely, but I graduated.
Hey! Yeah,
bro, I got the diploma. I don't know where it's at, somewhere around this motherfucker. I got a diploma, and it was signed. Because back in the day, they would give you a diploma, and if you didn't have enough credits or you didn't pass certain classes, the principal wouldn't sign your diploma until you went to summer school and shit.
Right.
And then once you pass them classes. So I got my fucking diploma, and I sat down and I opened it up, took it out the little sleeve, and I opened it up, and I was like, yeah, it's signed. It wasn't no big deal.
It's real.
Because my last name was with the Z. So I was at the end of the list.
Oh, last one called. You're like, oh, shit, they forgot about me.
Yeah, bro. So I was just like one of the last ones at the end of the fucking walkway and shit. And then I sat down and I was like, it's signed. My friends start laughing and shit. And then they let us go and we threw our hats up and shit, whatever.
Hell yeah.
And so I hung out, and then me and my dad, well, a little bit before that, me and my dad got into it. Me and my dad got into it real bad. He kicked me out the crib.
Like verbally or physically?
Yeah, verbally. Pops didn't get physical with me no more after 16. Was the last time I actually got my ass whooped, but I got my ass whooped for stealing. You know what I'm saying? So, and now that I got older, it was well deserved, man. I was fucking, just stupid. Who gets caught stealing at 16 years old? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So lo and behold, we got into it, and I was doing some other shit that I shouldn't have been doing. And you know what I'm saying? With some sacraments, with AKA weed. So anyways, I was doing some shit I shouldn't have been doing, especially at the house. And so he was like, look, it's either that or you got to go. And I was like, okay, well, I guess I got to go. So I ended up moving in with a good friend of mine, like I call him like my brother, Ron Villanova. And he had an older brother who graduated a year or two before us, and his name was Mike. Excuse me. Well, Mike had went into the Navy.
Okay.
So then when Mike came home on leave, Mike was like, he would talk to me around. He's like, look, man. He's like, I know how you guys, got this straight thing going on, and you think there's loyalty and this and that there, this and that. He's like, but in the long run, it ain't gonna do nothing for you, man. And then so we were like, all right. So what plan do we have? We don't have no fucking plan. We're about to graduate. We barely graduated. So,
man, here it comes. Mike with the plan.
Yeah, so Mike with the plan was like, look, man, I'll talk to my recruiter, and I think that you should join the U.S. Navy.
No way.
Love got you twisted, tied up in knots, or just bored? Couples, singles, situationships. If you've ever screamed, I'm done, then cuddled 5 minutes later, this one's for you. Call or text 720-303-2033 to leave your anonymous confession. We won't tell, unless it's good.
This isn't your grandma's podcast, unless she's still freaky.
We're popping the cork on modern love, and it might get messy. Like, don't tell my mama, messy. Call or text 720-303-2033 and be part of the love bubble. Because love gets weird.
Voice messages will be warped, text messages will be read all anonymously, and only I, your host with the ghost, has access to these messages.
Yeah, bro. So I was just like, okay, well, what kind of job would I have though, man? You know what I mean? And he was like, look, I'm a cook and it's a skate-ass job. He said you get a bunch of respect because everybody wants to be friend and cook to have some good.
Right.
So
Speak
he's
to
just
some
like,
fish, man.
yeah, man. He's like, you work 3 days on and then you're off for 3 days. And so I'm just like, okay. I said, well, damn, that sounds straight. And so he's like, yeah, you get your meals free. You can make whatever you want on the side, whatever. So I was just like, huh. So I went that route. I forgot which route Ron went, but we both joined the Navy, but we had to join at different times. He ended up going to boot camp in Great Lakes, which is Chicago. At that time, because they had three boot camp sites back then. This was in early 90s. So you could go to Florida, you could go to San Diego, Sandog, or you could go to Chi-Town. And so the cooking school and everything was in San Diego. So they sent me to San Diego for boot camp. Then I came home from 2 weeks after I finally graduated. And then I went back. And then from there, I went to my A school, which was learning how to cook and stuff, mass quantity cooking. And I learned from there. So I did about 1.5 years, close to 2 years in the Navy. And then here comes the back stupid ass streets again, bro.
No, bro. You feel like you're doing good.
Bro. And I fuck around. I made some decisions that I shouldn't have made. I was hanging out with one of my homeboys that was from California.
Right.
And we were in Oxnard County where actually, you know the Diaz brothers, right? From UFC?
Yeah.
The Mexicans? Yeah, the crazy Mexican Diaz. They fuck Connor choke out and shit. Connor out. Yeah, McGregor. Yeah, so anyways, they're from Oxnard County too. So there's a big base there in Port Hueneme in Oxnard County. So anyways, that was about 1.5 hours from Flint, about from where I live right now to Long Beach, about the same distance I live right now to Detroit. And so anyways, we would, every other weekend that we had duty off, we would go down there and we'd fucking party. And the chicks down there started liking me because I was in front there.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? They were like, first of all, how is there any Mexicans in Michigan? I had to break down the whole fucking migrant and fucking working on fucking fields and shit like that, this and that. And they're like, you're Mexican and you're from Michigan? And I'm like, yeah. And they, they could tell I was from the streets. So they were just like, but you don't talk like SA and Way and everything like that down here. And I'm just like, I say, hey, that's just how we roll over there. You know what I'm saying? The Midwest. So anyways, made a couple bad decisions, bro. And I got in trouble. And luckily, I was blessed with this kind of court martial that I got. And it was just me and one officer. And I had to do a little bit of sentence. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, gotta do some time. Did they let you go from the Navy? They kick you out?
Yeah. They let me after I got out, they discharged me from the Navy, but because of the type of discharge that they gave me, the court martial, it was just me and an officer. He gave me the max that he could give me, and he gave me what he could give me was this called an other than honorable. So you have honorable, you have general with honorable conditions, and then you have other than honorable, which is in the middle, like a C. And then below that is when you get dishonorable, and then below that is a big chicken dinner. It's called a BCD. A lot of people in lesser than service don't know about that. That's called a big chicken dinner. It's called bad conduct discharge. And what they do is, I'm gonna break it down right quick.
Oh, okay. So
say you're at a different base. I went to a base in Puerto Rico, so say you were stationed in Japan, wherever,
right?
And you fuck around and you fucked up that bad and you get a BCD. What the Navy is in charge of, what all United States, whether it's Army, Navy, Marines, whatever you're in, whatever service you're in, they're in charge of getting you back home, getting you back to your home state in your home city by as cheap as possible. If you get honorable, you get an airplane. You get an airplane flight.
Right.
If you get anything else, like, okay, so basically I got, other than honorable, I had to take a fucking bus from fucking Los Angeles 3 days back to fucking Saginaw, Michigan, man. It fucking was, what a bad conduct is, they call them, and then they give you a little bit of money to buy something to eat and stuff. So they do give you something, okay?
Nice.
Well, with the BCD, the reason why they call it a big chicken dinner is because these motherfuckers walk you to the gate of the base,
Right.
with your backpack and shit, all your shit that you got, walk you to the gates of the base, and then they take off your badging, your U.S. Army, your USA flags and all that, and you're just in the uniform, and they take your ribbons and everything like that, and they fuck around and give you like $10. You have to find your home, and they give you enough to buy one chicken dinner. That's why they call it a BCD, man, big chicken dinner. So thank God I didn't get that, man. So anyways.
Yeah, thank God. At least you got a bus.
Exactly, bro. So I got home. I went through that shit, man. I got home. Still sort of made some bad choices, because I felt like I was a disgrace to. They made sure when you're in the bridge that you know that you're more than just a disgrace to your family. You're a disgrace to your country. You know what I'm saying? And that hits hard. If you give a fuck, that hits hard.
Yeah,
and so
I'm sure you gave a fuck.
Yeah,
you seem like a guy that has a big heart, in my opinion.
Yeah, bro. And it really fucked me up. So when I got home, I never told my parents what happened. They just know that I got discharged, and I started getting in the streets again, trying to make some money. And you know what I'm saying? My one homeboy was selling one thing, I was selling another. We'd be in the car together, you know what I'm saying, sitting there, we set up at a spot by a fucking party store or something, and some people, hey, I want this. I'm like, okay, holler at him. Oh yeah, I want this. Okay, holler at him. And you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So we were both making our money as best as we could.
Tag team, back again.
Yeah, so long story short, man, I know this is drawn out. I apologize.
Go ahead.
But it finally hit me to where I was going to say, look, either I'm going to end up in jail or I'm going to end up dead. And I didn't want
I don't like those options, dog.
And yeah, I was like, I didn't want either. And so I ended up moving down to Texas, down in RGV, which is where my dad was originally from.
Sure.
Down in the valley. It's called Rio Grande Valley. And big shout out to the 956. Harley Gym. Yeah, man, there's a bunch of juggalos in Harley. That's where actually, if you remember where you got this coin right here, because I still got my coin, bro. Yeah. Last Monster 5, the last concert at Corpus Christi. I'm sorry, at South Padre Island.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's in the valley. And that was like 20 minutes from where I was staying. So that's why I went to the concert, man. And I was able to go to the concert because while they went on tour, I went on vacation. And I was just like, bro, I got to hit this fucking concert. No matter what happens, I'm going to go to this fucking concert. I want to see my boys. I hadn't seen Jay in a while. So I was just like, I want to check out my boy Von and Jay. So I ended up going to the concert, man. And they fucking tore it up. And all the juggalos showed me love, man. I was in the back with my walker, and they were just like, man, this place is fucking so nice. This is like the nicest place we've ever been to. As a juggle, the fans were nice. Like the people that worked on the island were nice to us. People at the hotel were nice to us. They didn't treat us like shit. They were like, bro, so it was really cool. I was like, that's how it is down here. I was like, and it's a major spring break event town down there. Like, yeah, man. Like Mexican OTs performed down there a bunch of times. When I was younger and I went down there, I've seen fucking Cisco perform. I seen Run DMC perform. I seen Monday Night Nitro down there when they did live from South Padre Island and shit. So I lived down in there on and off for a couple years, and I came back home to Michigan. Start working, and I was just like, okay. And I became an assistant manager at a shoe store, Foot Action. Big shout out to Foot Action, even though they don't exist no more. But I was senior assistant manager there. And anyways, man, I came into some money because I worked for I'm not gonna name drop them, fuck them. But I worked for a certain pop company, and they're opposite of Coke. That's all I'm gonna say. You know what I'm saying? It's opposition. So anyways, them motherfuckers, I was working for them and I got hurt, man. And I was taking out a display, and then the wall of
You got hurt at work?
Yeah, man, I got hurt at work. And
you got buried by soda?
Yeah, bro. fucking cases, man, I'm serious, cases and cases hit me in the back of the head, hit me in the back of the shoulder. And before I went and seen their doctor. I seen them in 2 weeks. They called me in the office, they wrote me up, and they did a double write-up, and then they said I had a lack of urgency. I said, well, define the lack of urgency. I was like, I'm still hurt. I haven't even gone to see your doctor again.
Right.
And they're like, well, we got to let you go because you have a lack of urgency. I said, well, what is the lack of urgency? And they're like, well, we don't know, but that's what it is. So I was like, I ain't signing that. So anyways, got a lawyer. It got a lawyer, took about 5 years, bro. It took a long time.
No way.
Yeah, but they didn't give up. I didn't give up. And then finally we settled out of court for a certain amount of money, which was fucking ridiculous. I was just like, are you serious? Like, that's all my back was worth and my head was worth. But I was okay from that. So anyways.
Wait, so was that the start of your back problem?
No.
Oh, shit.
I concussion and shit. But no, I would thank God I was fine with that. I healed up. And I got that money. And I was like, okay. So I bought a couple things, paid off some bills. And then I was just like, what do I really want to do, man? And I'm working at Foot Action at the time, this and that. And I'm like, man, I don't really know if I want to spend the rest of my life doing this shit. But at the time, that's when the Monday Night Wars were going on. And I was like, and in me being Mexican, I seen K-Dog on WCW. And at the time, I didn't realize that I was a fucking hater. I was like, man, fuck, I can't stand that dude. Fucking all that leg, you know what I'm saying? And I was just like, bro, fuck that. That ain't how real Mexicans get down, this and that. And I'm just like, it felt like he was just playing the role. But then I was like, my boy was like, hey, bro. My boy Manny was like, hey, bro, you being a fucking hater, right? You're hating on this dude right now, man. And I'm just like, you know what? You're right, bro. So long story short, I checked out a couple schools. I went to a school in Detroit, and I went for about 6 months, and they just fucked me out of money. They fucked me out of about $700-800, and it was supposed to be $1,100 for training. And I got fucked out of about $700-800. They didn't teach me hardly shit. But what was cool was being in the Detroit clique, I got respect from the other boys down there. Well, 2 of the guys end up going on to be super famous. I don't know if you follow wrestling, but do you follow wrestling?
Yeah, somewhat.
Okay, so you ever heard of the Motor City Machine Guns?
Yeah.
Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, Chris Sabin was in my fucking class. He graduated before me. But I trained with Chris Sabin and shit.
Oh, shit.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Chris Sabin went down to Florida for Dory Funk School, and Dory was just like, bro, he says, you got it, kid. He says, but you need some better training. And he was like, you need some better training. He's like, I was like, okay. He was like, okay, what do you suggest? He's like, I suggest you go to Canada, right outside of Detroit, go to Canada.
Oh, yeah. Like, you're right next to Canada.
Yeah, so that he's like, go to Scott DeMore, and Scotty will take care of you. And sure enough, that's how he hooked up with fucking Petey Williams and all them cats, man. And it was just crazy, bro. Like, so I was just like, fuck, man, if he can do it, I can do it.
Hell yeah.
So I'm just like, yeah. So then, anyways, they screwed me out of money. And I was just like, man, fuck wrestling. This is full of shit, this and that. And anyways, man, my boy was like, yeah, bro, I lost my attitude. Bro. I mean, once you work that hard for 6 months and they just screw you out of money, and the one match that they said they guaranteed, they put me in a fucking battle royal, and then that was it. I was just like, what the fuck, man? So anyways, I'm sitting there, and I'm still working out at the gym.
Okay.
And this big black dude comes up to me, and he's like, hey, man, what's up? How you doing? This and that. I heard you into wrestling. I was like, yeah, I'm into wrestling, bro. This and that. And we end up just clicking, man. And we hooked up, and he was like, hey, man, why don't you come check out my school? And I was like, okay, well, who's your trainer? He's like, Dan Severn. And I was like, Dan Severn from UFC? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, the Beast? And he's like, and I was like, yeah, man. Well, I didn't know that much about this young man, this black dude that I was rolling with.
Yeah.
Come to find out, this dude is an NFL fucking star. He got a Super Bowl ring from the fucking Patriots, and he got a Buffalo Bills division ring. Yeah, his name is Monty Brown, the alpha male. Monty Brown.
Monty Brown.
And, yeah, bro, you got to look him up. He was a TNA at first, the alpha male, and then he went from there, and he finally signed to WWE for a little while. When they had ECW going, they made him change his name to Marcus Corvallis. And then he even got a chance to wrestle at WrestleMania at Ford Field. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he wrestled against Sabu and all the original ECW originals and this and that. And it was just fucking awesome, man. With him being there, it was like I was there. So anyways, while he was on his grind up there, I was on my grind on the indie scenes. So I start wrestling fucking all over, man. I wrestled in Mississippi. I wrestled in fucking Indiana, Ohio, Michigan.
As Alcatraz?
As Alcatraz 187. Yup. And then Texas finally gave me a shot down in Texas. Big shout out to my boy. I know you heard of him, Supermax, Hot Stuff Hernandez. Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
He man, Monty hooked us up. And he became one of my dogs, man. And he hooked me up with a couple promotions in Texas. And they just love the character. They love the gimmick. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, anyways, that's when my back started hurting a little bit. Was with the beginning of the back problems. Because I was working out, and I don't think I had a weight belt on. And I was doing like shoulder presses or something. And I heard a click in my back.
Oh, shit.
And then I was just like, okay. And then I went to the sauna, the dry sauna. I laid in there for like a half hour, tried to stretch it out, this and that. Anyways, man, long story short, I went and I was just like, what the fuck, man? And I was down and out for a couple weeks until I rehab, and they never really told me what was wrong with my back. So I was like,
Like
okay.
with X-rays and shit?
Yeah, with X-rays. I never did an MRI. You know, they never did an MRI on me. They were just like, they just gave me pain medicine so that the big knot in my back would go away. And it ended up going away. Okay. But they never gave me a diagnosis or nothing. So anyways, I ended up wrestling, and once every 2.5 years, my back would go out. And I'd be on the floor for like 1 or 2 days with my, sleeping with my back laid up and my legs on the chair, on the couch and shit. For 1 or 2 days, and Valium was the only thing that would work. So Valium would help me out, and then it would take it away. Then I'd ice it, heat it, this and that, and then I'd be able to stand up straight and walk again and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. Well, anyways, and I was working in the school district as security for Saginaw Public Schools for like.
Oh shit! Can you imagine this dude chasing him in the hallway?
If you're an artist or in a band that could use some extra exposure, look no further than Underground Nation magazine. They have everything you need to get some extra eyes on your project. Get started on your custom marketing campaign, spanning web, social, and print today. Visit underground-nation.com. That's underground-nation.com for more info. Underground Nation, the #1 trusted source for underground music news.
Yeah, man. Yeah, bro. It was just crazy, man. And what was cool was I worked at, then they changed it to a middle school. I worked at the middle school for about 6 years, 7 years, something like that. And then I was so good at my job, they ended up moving me to a high school, which needed a little bit more support, which was Saginaw High.
Okay.
I'll be honest, it was predominantly black kids, which hey, I had no problem with. I don't give a fuck. I'm from the hood. Yep. So, but what happened was, of course, without the beard and shit, clean shaven, I looked like a white dude. And so these kids was just like, oh, who the fuck is this white dude? Think he's gonna come in? Yeah, he's a little bit big, but whatever. And they just thought they were gonna run over me. They were like, the young 9th graders that had just came from the 8th grade at the middle school that knew me and watched me wrestle in Saginaw was like, oh, you don't know about that? They were like, so the first fight I broke up was like the 3rd day of school, the 4th day of school. These 2 kids had came in through the gym and they weren't students. And they were chasing these other boys through the school, and they caught one. And the one dude started whipping his ass. He tripped him. He got on the ground. And he started whooping his ass. So I ran up there. There's this big crowd. And everybody's just like, and I'm like, move. And nobody was moving. So I was like, fuck this. I barreled through the crowd and I fucking get the kids and I'm getting ready to break them up. And then I look and there's this other kid, big ass trash cans. The big gray heavy ones.
Right.
Like the real heavy ones. This kid picked it up and was getting ready to hit me with it. He threw it at me and I looked and I saw it at the corner of my eye And I was like, motherfucker. And I hit it with my forearm. Bro, that thing said, boom, and it went flying into the crowd. Everybody was like, and then I was like, fuck this. I grabbed the two boys. I grabbed them. I picked them up. And I threw them against the Coke machine. I was like, bam, they both fell. And then I grabbed both of them. And then my homeboy came for backup. He came, he just grabbed one. And I grabbed the other. We took him in the fucking office. And then the other guys got the other guy. But I realized they weren't even students. They were after this kid because of some shit in the streets.
Yeah.
And this and that. And they were just like, and then everybody was, they started calling me Big Red after that. Because I had a red, my shirt was red. And it said Saginaw Public Schools on it. And that was our uniform. A red button-down shirt with black pants and whatever color shoes we wanted. So I wore these black on black. And so they called me Big Red at Saginaw High. So shout out to everybody that went to the High, the Trojan, you know what I'm saying? But anyways, man, my wrestling career kept going on. I got engaged. I went into car sales.
Oh, shit.
I went into car sales, and because I figured I needed to make some good money. The stories, I was working at the Gentleman's Club at the same time. I was doing 2 jobs while I worked for the school district because I only got so many hours a week from the school district, and that was basically done at 3:30. So at 5 o'clock till whenever, I start working at the Gentleman's Club here in Saginaw. Deja Vu, big shout out to them. They tripped out, man, because a lot of these dudes hated me because I wouldn't let them in because we had dress codes, we had rules, and nobody was really enforcing them rules. But then they called me the door Nazi because,
oh man,
yeah, bro, because I was the only kid enforcing that shit, right? So I enforced the rule, and it was just crazy, man. So I did that for about 3.5 years, and I leveled up as best as I could, but they didn't want to make me a manager because they liked my sales skills at the door and inside the club. And I was just like, look, man, that's not cool. I'm 35 years old now. I'm in my 30s. I ain't some little 18-year-old, 19-year-old door guy that's just happy because he's working with some girls and see some chi-chis and some ass all day and some coochie when he walks in to get a free pop or whatever because it was fully nude. Yeah, it was fully nude because no alcohol.
No alcohol.
Yeah, no alcohol in Michigan. In Michigan, you can be fully nude, no alcohol. So anyways, I did that for a few years, and then I just realized, look, man, ain't nobody gonna want their husband to be working at a strip club. You know what I mean? It's not gonna go good. So I start selling cars.
Okay.
And I worked at one car dealership for a while, and I met one of my good friends, man. Big shout out to Derek. And he helped train me actually on cold calling and everything like that. And anyways, I worked there for almost a year, and then they let me go. Yeah, they let me go because Derek was about to get a promotion. Okay. And the new car manager, which is what I worked under, they were battling for that position. So the new car worker couldn't do nothing to Derek, so he did it. The next best thing was to fire Derek's best friend, which was me.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, so he got me fired, and I was like, man, fuck this.
Got me guilty by association again.
Yeah, bro. Again, I'm just like, what the fuck, man? So anyways, I'm still pro wrestling at this time, and I end up going around filling my apps out to different the car dealerships here in Saginaw, and there was one that was black owned, and his name was Mr. Johnson, and he was really cool. He interviewed me, and he really liked me, and he was just like, look, we're gonna retrain you the way we want you to sell. He's like, and I think you'll do good. So long story short, I ended up being there for like 3.5, 4 years. Hey. I was averaging about 40 to 50 G's a year selling cars. And that was great for a small dealership that didn't advertise that much. So anyways, I ended up leaving because I wanted to go to San Antonio and try to make $100,000 a year.
Hell yeah.
So I went down to San Antonio because I knew they had more traffic. So I went down to San Antonio, and I was there for almost a year, and that just didn't work out. I was borrowing money from cats back home, and I was paying them, but then next month and a half I'd have to borrow some more money, and it just became an ongoing circle, man. And so I ended up getting in the hole like $1,500, and I'm like, no, fuck that. I'm not gonna screw my people out of this shit. So I came back home. I worked for a lab for a little bit. The lab went under. It was
kind of lab.
Yeah, like they did urine samples and then they start getting into blood. So I was in charge of all the MAs, medical assistants, and their collection of everything and this and that. Made sure they kept notes, and I kept notes of how many samples we were getting, and this. It was a pretty good job, man. But the two owners clashed, so that fizzled. They sued each other, and that was a fucking wrap. So I went back to selling cars, and the owner was like, "Look, man, I really want you to come back and sell cars for me, Manny." I was like, "I don't know, Mr. Johnson." He said, "Look, man, you just sold 3 cars right now." You know what I'm saying? He said, "You just sold 3 cars because I sent 3 people in for referrals." And they each bought a car.
Nice.
I said, okay, look, I got so many weeks. I think it was 28 weeks or whatever of unemployment. I said, I got so many weeks of unemployment. I'm going to let me take my unemployment. And then when I'm done with unemployment, I'll come back and I give you my word that I will sell cars for you. And you know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah. So he was like, all right. So this happened. Girls, sorry, I'm on live. Doing an interview. Sorry. So check it out. So this happened to be, this was after me and Rude Boy hooked up and became friends. And so long story short, I had an opportunity to live one of my dreams. And one of my dreams was to wrestle for fucking JC Dub at the Gathering of Juggalos.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, bro. I was like, oh my God, man. And they were like, bro, I got you on this year. I was like, are you serious? He's like, yeah. I was like, fuck it, I'm there. That was 2017, Oklahoma. That's where I am, bro. So I end up going. The JC Dub welcomed me with open arms. They were mad cool. I did like VIP fucking signings and shit. Everything like that. They included me and all that stuff, man. And anyways, fucking what ended up happening was I got to wrestle twice at that gathering. Okay. And yeah, I wrestled once on the night of the women's night, and then I wrestled at I think it was Bloody Mania. I can't remember which one it was, but and Shaggy commentated for fucking my match. He commentated that show, bro. Fucking we ripped it, bro. And all the fucking fans were just like Alcatraz, and I was just like, oh my God, bro. I felt so loved, bro, and so accepted again, man, because I was getting ready to retire. I was like, I didn't want to be some 30-something-year-old wrestler and that not make it to TNA or not make it to WWE and something like that. I didn't want to be some 30-something-year-old independent wrestler, bro. I mean, there's a lot of guys that do it, and I give more power to you, but I didn't want to be that way. But anyways, got into JC Dub, and they loved me. They loved the character, bro. So they started having me at different JC Dub events, and that's how the ball started rolling. Well, anyways, I went back. The 28 weeks was up. So my regular job, I started selling cars again. I was only there 2 weeks. And here it goes. This is when the young man, not paying attention, was in an F-150. He was in a Ford truck, F-150, not paying attention. And I was walking on the sales lot, the used car sales lot. No. Just took pictures of a truck that I wanted to sell to a friend of mine. It had just came in. It was cheap. It was a good-looking truck. This is just what he wanted in his price range and everything. But the area that I was in didn't get good cell phone signal. So I went, and I'm walking, and I'm trying to go to the main cell phone floor to get signal, to get on their Wi-Fi so I can send them these pictures. Right. And then all of a sudden, I'm walking, and I feel a bump. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I knew where it hit me in the back. You feel it? So I felt a bump in my back and the top of my butt. I was like, what the fuck? Like a push. I'm like, what the fuck? And then it happened again. And I'm like, so I took 2 steps forward and I turned around and I knew it had to be a truck because I'm 6'2". And so for it hit me in the back and then in the top of the butt, it wasn't no car. So I'm looking and I turned around and there's this guy and he's got his hand like this on the driver's wheel, on the steering wheel. Right. And he's looking over the driver's side window is down. He's looking like this and he's talking to somebody. And I was like, hey, man. I said, what you hit me with this truck for? He didn't say nothing. I said, hey, why you hit me with this truck? And then one of my homeboys was on the used car lot and he was looking now. So then all of a sudden, before I could say anything else, this dude floored it. He floored it. And when he floored it, my left leg went halfway under the bumper. And thank God I was wearing dress shoes. And it spun me out. And when it spun me out, my chest and my right hand hit the driver's side fender. He slammed on the brakes because he thought I just walked up. He just heard the noise. He thought that I just slammed my hand on a customer's car.
Right.
Because it was a customer's truck.
Yeah.
And I was just like, hey, bro, you just hit me with this fucking truck. And he's giving me a dirty look and I'm like, bro, I'll beat your fucking ass right now. And then I was like, fuck this, man. So I went and I grabbed the door handle and I was getting ready to pull him out. And then I looked towards the end, straight, like the back of the truck. And then all of a sudden, here comes this dude from around the corner. He's a short, chunky guy with glasses and his eyes were this big. Well, come to find out, that was the owner of the truck. And then everybody in the service bay, because the bay doors were open, everybody in the service bay had their hands on their computers, and they were all like, and then it hit me. I was in shock. I was like, bro, you just got hit by a truck. So I let the handle go. I turned. I went to take 2 steps, and my back just said, whoop. I grabbed the back of another truck, and I was shaking. My legs were on fire. Not to be too...
You're fine. Go ahead.
But my balls were on fire. My lower back was on fire.
What the fuck?
I was hurt. I was burning. It was burning, bro.
So this dude really fucked you up. Like, he really hit you. You were just fucking adrenaline at that time.
Yeah, bro. So come to find out what happened was they rushed me to the emergency. They did some kind of test on me. And then I was too big. The shoulders were... I didn't fit inside the MRI machine.
This fucking MRI machine.
So,
I don't fit either, bro.
Yeah, right?
You're claustrophobic in that shit.
Yeah, bro. They didn't make fucking big. They didn't mean to make real man sizes. So anyways, I didn't fit in the machine, and so they end up having to give me a twilight run, which basically I had to go to Flint Hurley, and they put an IV in you, and they give you medication through your IV, and they put you to sleep, but it's not anesthesia. And then that's what because I couldn't straighten out my left leg. So it straightened out my left leg. It made me pass out, and then it was the big open one. So it came down where it was like right on my face, but I was sleeping. So I was like, I didn't know any of that. Anyways, I got the MRI done. I took it to a specialist that I knew, a neurosurgeon, and he was like, he did some tests on me. He did the whole hitting the hammer against your knee and all this stuff. And he was like, tell me if you feel some pressure or just a poke or whatever. And I was like, okay, poke. I said pressure. All the way down my left foot and halfway down my right foot. So anyways, long story short, he was like, usually these are wrong. He says, but this time this is 100% accurate, Manny. I says, well, what is it saying? What's going on? He says, you have 2 herniated discs. He says, you have nerve damage to both your legs. He said your tailbone got twisted.
Twisted on me?
Twisted. My tailbone was twisted because of the whipping motion. He says, you're messed up, bro. He said, you're messed up. And I was just like, it's that bad? He's like, yeah. He said, you're going to need surgery, and you might need multiple surgeries. So I was just like, what the fuck? So anyways, I got a hold of Workman's Comp, and they gave me 1 month of Workman's Comp. October 31st, 2017, they cut me off. They said that they weren't denying the accident. They were denying the severity of the accident because I had back problems before from wrestling.
Oh, fuck.
That I was making shit up.
Oh,
and I was like, what the fuck?
Fuck you make that shit up? Look at the x-rays.
Yeah, bro. This is an MRI we're talking about. So anyways, I had to get a lawyer, and he was a fucking piece of work. That's a whole nother story. And I ended up settling out. And what was so cool was a couple days after the accident, like Rudy knew what happened, and Rude Boy, and this and that. And then I got a text from the Clown separately. You know what I'm saying? By the day, Joe hit me up, and so did Shaggy too, though. And they were just like, hey, man, we heard about the accident. Are you okay? You know, you're in our prayers, this and that. And I was like, man, thank you so much. That means a lot. And so, anyways, I was done working. I was done wrestling. That's the last time I ever wrestled again. Everything was taken away. Well, then they were like, they liked my character and everything. They liked me. And they were like, look, man, they were like, we're going to start doing these podcast things. Like, it's called Patreon, and we'd love to have you part of it. And I was like, dude, it'd be my honor to be a part of it. So they were like, all right, cool, man, cool. So that's why I start helping.
During COVID, right?
Yeah, I start helping them out on the side, just little stuff that they needed, like as a runner and stuff like that, as best as I could, because I stood as long as I could. Then I'd have to sit down, and then I'd have to lay down sometimes. Yeah. So a lot of the Juggalos seen that, and they respected that. And And that meant a lot to me. You know what I'm saying? And I was always trying to make people happy. I was always trying to, like, I don't know if you've ever been a VIP line, man, but when you're in a VIP line for the clowns, a lot of people are just like nervous. What are they going to say? What are they going to have signed? They don't want to sound stupid. They don't want to look stupid, this and that. And I'm like, hey guys, just chill, just relax. These guys are down to earth just like you. They love you as much as you love them. And they're like, really? And I'm like, yeah, bro. I was like, yeah, girl, you know what I mean? And I would just put people at ease, and I'd make them laugh and everything like that. And then people were just like, I started chatting. I said, who you here to see? They said, ICP. I said, who you here to see? ICP. So they're like, and then the guys are like, the fuck is going on in the hallway? You know what I'm saying? And then they're like, man, he's hyping them up, man. He got them. And they're like, hell yeah. So, yeah, man. So that's how
I love those fucking Patreons. Those were fucking lit. Every single one was fucking lit.
That was an experience, man. It was crazy. And then, you know me, being me, Jay was like, look, man, if people donate so much bits, I need you to tell us. I thought he said tell us their names. And I was like, okay. But he was like, when I was like, yeah, the clowns are gonna read your names off, this and that. And they were like, he was like, no. I was like, what? And he was like, you're gonna read the names off. And then they start laughing at each other. They're like, oh, we gotta love Manny. And I was like, okay, I guess I'm reading your names off little bits. And I was just like, fucking up, you know, like that's my thing is me being me, man. Like, you know, and that's what they love, bro. And our relationship just locked in from there, man. And it's just been an awesome ride since, brother.
That's fucking amazing.
Was a lot.
Some artists wait to be discovered. Others step into the shadows and take their shot. Welcome to Mic Check Thursday, hosted by the host with the ghost, Bounce Ball Boogie. Every week, the boogeyman opens the gates, searching for the realest voices in the underground. No industry politics, no fake hype, just raw talent and honest feedback. Think you've got a hot track? For just 99 coins, submit your song and get one guaranteed play live. Get reviewed by Bounce Ball Boogie and the full panel of creatures from the Boogieverse. And if your sound hits different, you might earn something most artists never get: a personal invitation to a spotlight interview on the official Underground Nation podcast. This isn't a contest. This is a gateway to exposure, to community, to your next level. Join us live for Mic Check Thursday. Bring your track, bring your courage, and step into the Boogieverse. The Underground is watching. Are you ready to be heard?
That was a whole lot, but it's a long Manny story.
That's the whole fucking Manny story right there.
Yeah, man. He's like, you took up all my time, man.
Well, I appreciate you sharing all of that information. The only few things I wanted to ask personally is how did you discover the Alcatraz 187 character and persona?
Okay, that's a great question, man. I've only had a couple people ask me that. I when I was coming up, like I says, this and that, everybody that was in jail was a bad guy. And I grew up during the era of WWE when they had that Nails character for a second and this and that. And I was just like, and they had the big boss man and this and that, whatever. So I was just like, okay. And I was like, but not everybody in jail is a bad guy now. They just made poor decisions.
Yeah.
And I was like, nowadays, people are either related to, dating, or friends with somebody that's in jail or that's been in jail.
It's true.
And then I'm like, but I can be a no-nonsense type of dude. I said, I can go in there, and if a bad guy's out there talking shit, I can go out there and whoop his ass. And if a good guy's going out there talking shit, yeah, cheer for me. I can be like, shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? and so I came up with the backstory of me coming from Jackson Prison here in Michigan, and as part of my rehabilitation, Lisa, I know Nito. Here's a little Nito, but
that fool loves you. Look at him.
Yeah, this little Nito.
Oh,
little G's dog, basically.
That's awesome. Shout out to little G.
Yeah, Nito. So anyways, I was just like, yeah, man. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, why don't we make this part of his rehabilitation? And then at first, I was going to have a manager, but I couldn't get anybody to manage me, where my manager was going to be the bad guy. The manager would be part of the warden's henchmen or whatever, and then he'd be like, you're not going to fight back for the first 5 minutes or whatever. And I'm just like, what? And you're not going to fight back till I tell you to, till you you feel enough pain and this and that. And then he'd have the nightstick swinging it and this and that. And then, hit me in the back while I'm fucking hitting the ropes or whatever and shit like that. You know what I mean? And then, so then finally it leads up to years later, whatever, it leads up to me fighting the Warden's guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I couldn't get anybody to fucking do the Warden gimmick.
Man, I wish I knew about it.
Yeah, so I just came out in the shackles and shit, and it was just part of my rehabilitation was to fight, get my aggression out in the ring.
Fuck yeah.
And get my aggression out in the ring, and then I go back as a peaceful person, back to the nearest county jail or the nearest prison that they had, wherever venue I was wrestling at, and then transfer me back to Jackson Prison in Michigan. Yeah. So it was real elaborate, bro. Like I came up with, like me and Monty came up with it, and it was dope, bro. And
it was dope.
You'll never guess where I got the name Alcatraz from. So check it out. I was looking at this muscle magazine before, right? Because I was working out a lot. I was working out 6 days a week, and it was a 1-page black and white photograph, and it was this dude, and he was standing there, and he had the old school round metal dumbbells. You know what I'm talking about? Like the old school, like the strongman used to hold them. He had one of those, and he was like, turned sideways flexing. He was like, call me Alcatraz, because I'm hard as a rock. And I'm like, oh shit. I was like, there's already the rock, you know what I'm saying? So I couldn't use that. But I said, yeah, man, I want to use Alcatraz. But then I was like, I can't just use Alcatraz by itself because somebody will be like, oh, the infringement, the name, this and that. So then I was like, why not do the call for murder? 187.
Yeah. Murder, Mo.
Yeah, bro. 187 of them. So I combined the two, and it just became Alcatraz 187. So that as I got to wrestle more and more, and then I got more in tune with the character. That's when, I don't know if I know you've been online a lot. So of course, you ever seen the little commercial of I'm the Juggernaut, bitch? that little cartoon where it keeps saying I'm the Juggernaut, bitch. Yeah. And it's got the Juggernaut in different episodes of the X-Men and shit.
Right, yeah.
So I was just like, I'm fucking taking that. I'm the Juggernaut. And so I was like,
bitch.
Yeah, man. So fucking it was the Juggernaut Alcatraz 187. That was my name, you know what I'm saying, towards the end. And fans loved it, man. And I loved it. And then, like it says, I ended up getting the big mural on my back of my truck that Humble Monk just talked about. Shout out to Humble Monk. And yeah, because the guys were on another show and they were talking about the rides that they use. And then Joey was telling them, Joey was like, yeah, man, I ride with my homeboy. He's got this like hooked up truck. And he's like, he's got this front end that's got these thing with American flag and a Mexican flag and skull with bullets and stuff. And I got that from Sicario 2, the cover. So I put that on my hood. Back, I got the Juggernaut, the big Juggernaut fucking on my truck, on my tailgate. Of course, I got an F-150. Yeah. It hit me, but I got one because I knew how durable they were. Fucking, I guess. Yeah, man. So that's where that came up, man.
Is this the same truck you get pulled over in, leaving the gathering?
You said, what's up?
Is this the same truck you always get pulled over in and leaving the gathering?
Yes. Oh, man, speaking of that, them motherfuckers, bro, bought the mailbox a couple years ago. He was trying to get me for a hit and run. He was trying to pin me for so much shit. I was there for 45 minutes at that traffic stop. And then then the cop went over there. And then they were like, nobody lives at that house. It's in probate. So nobody lives there. They're fighting over the house in court, this and that. So we can't, there's nobody getting mail there or nothing. So we can't charge him with anything. So he was pissed. So what he did was he gave me this ticket and he said reckless driving, right? Not for me not having control of my vehicle. Yeah. Well, anyways, I called a couple lawyers and nobody wanted to fuck with that town. They were like, bro, this town is bullshit. We can't defend you. And I'm like, what the fuck, man? So I was like, fuck it. I guess I got no choice. I'm just going to pay it. So I paid it. Then all of a sudden, 3 months later, I called Progressive because my insurance went up. I was like, hey, man, what's going on with my insurance? They were like, oh, well, because you lost a couple incentives. I said, well, what do you mean? Well, your safe driver you lost, and you lost something else. And I was like, because I hit a mailbox? And they said, because you hit a mailbox? What are you talking about, Mr. Zamora? I was like, back in August, I hit a mailbox.
What did they think you hit?
Huh?
What did they think you hit? What's the record?
No, this is what I'm saying. Yeah, exactly. So they were like, no, we don't have that down here. And I said, well, what do you have? It was a town in Ohio on this date. I can't remember the town because I don't remember what I did with the copy of my ticket. And they were like, oh, he charged you for speeding. I said, what? They said, yeah, bro. They didn't say bro, but they were like, yes, sir. They were like, yes, sir. They said, he wrote you for a speeding ticket. And I was like, so that's how he said that I was driving so far over the speed limit that's what it was for a speeding ticket. And I was like, that's not true. I said, on my ticket, it says failure to control vehicle. And they were like, no, in our paperwork, it says speeding. And then there's nothing I can do. So for 3 years, well, for 2 more years now, I got to ride this shit out and pay fucking that much more for my fucking insurance because of that motherfucker, that fucking cop. I was so pissed. I was just like, so this year from the gathering, I took my time.
Yeah.
I left at the right time. I made sure my fucking GPS was working on my brand new phone that I got from Verizon. I fucked T-Mobile, so I went to Verizon and my shit was working and everything. And so it kept me on the highway all the way back home, man. I was like, thank you, Lord.
There we go.
It was fucking nuts, man. Oh my God, that whole scenario was just, dear Lord Jesus.
Oh, yeah. Well, Lisa, now you have a good plan to get there and back every time.
Yes.
I wanted to ask you, Talks Hit, are we going to see another episode Talks Hit drop anytime soon?
Anytime soon, I'm not too sure. But I do miss it very much. I miss my brothers. As
you guys were fucking killing it for a minute there. You guys were on it.
Yeah, man. And KFT, we had fucking stitches from the boxing community. He was on fucking, he did UFC at the beginning. That he told us a story about him and Dana White getting into it and him not doing it anymore. It was just crazy, man. Like, that was a great fucking interview. And we had Popeye from Blood In, Blood Out.
Yeah.
About My Honor. We had Popeye on there before. We had, of course, Violent J. Shaggy Tudo blessed us 2 times.
Fucking Hex.
DJ Clay, Hex. Yeah, we had fucking my boy, Tierra Diaz. There it is right there, back of me, right there. Drop. And so, yeah, man. So we definitely helped out as much people as we could because we were on the momentum, and then just a lot of family stuff came up as far as, the other guys and them taking care of different things and stuff like that, which is understandable. But I have been in talks with Ash, and Ash has been working the idea of trying to get it back together. Where he's just gonna, I said, well, just let me know, man. As soon as it's a word, I'll put it out. And hopefully we'll get some reviewers again, and we'll start over again. And he's like, yeah, man, that would be cool. I said, I do miss it. I miss my brothers. It was a totally different show than the Shaggy Show. We all make fun of each other. We have fun. You know what I mean? It's just talk about different subjects and everything. So it was cool, man. I really miss Talks Hits. Yeah.
Well, I was a fan of Talks Hit, and if I could help y'all out in any kind of way, please keep me in mind. I'm more than willing to do so.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. That means a lot, bro.
Absolutely. Well, Manny, I know we went way over the time here. Is there any shout-outs, thank yous, or anything you'd like to promote? Please take this time to shine, my boy.
I'd like to give a shout-out to the family first and foremost for accepting me for who I am and just as I am. You know what I'm saying? Like, I guess because I'm older, I realize that I can't be somebody else, so I just need to be true to myself. And I know I've been fucking up a lot of times. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it comes to big booties and stuff like that. I'm just like, woo! Yeah, fucking Martha Stewart, baby. You know what I'm saying? But I just want to say thank you for showing me all the love and accepting me into the family, man. It means a lot to me. I want to thank, of course, the clowns, ICP, Shaggy Tudo, and Violent J for welcoming me into their circle. You know what I'm saying? It goes for Billy Bill and Jump Steady. Let me run the movie tent and just being cool with them and stuff. I mean, I really appreciate that. I appreciate all the opportunities and stuff like this, and guys like yourself that I get to meet. That it's an honor for me. You see what I'm saying? It's an honor for me to meet you and chop it up with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, seriously, I know you guys usually say, "Man, it was our pleasure." But no, it's an honor to me, bro. Because you guys doing what you do means so much to me. And then just to consider me down for an interview, and all your fans, bro, that were like you said, a lot of people wanted to make this interview happen, and you made it happen. I apologize not doing it last time. It was my fault, but I was for sure going to be on it today. And we can do it again, man. If you want to do another conversation, we can do it again, part 2, because I know there's a bunch of stuff that you didn't get a chance to ask me that you wanted to, but you wanted to know the story about Manny Fresh. Yeah, you got the whole background, you know what I'm saying? You got the whole background other than the diaper changing. You know what I'm saying? But that's about it. If I forgot somebody, I apologize. I love you guys all. I love the MFG, which is the Manny Fresh Gang. And that's from my Twitch channel. And that I do that every Sunday from 5 to 7 and every Wednesday night from 8 to 10 on Twitch. And of course, I know you're going to ask me, and I don't know the name. I think it's either Traz187 or if it's Manny Fresh 187. I think it's Traz187 for my Twitch channel because my YouTube channel is Manny Fresh 187. Yeah, you're looking it up for me. That'll be good. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm gonna be sending your views all the kinds of different places and shit.
Manny Fresh 187 on the YouTube.
Okay, that's YouTube. But what about
Twitch is Traz 187.
So I was right. Yeah, so Shaggy can't call me. I got it right. I just wasn't sure.
Oh yeah. Well, if you ever need a co-host or anything for your podcast, shoot, keep me in mind. More than willing to help out also there, bro. And yes, I would love to fucking set up a part 2. You just let me know when, and I'm there. I'll make it happen.
Awesome, brother. You let me know your availability. Right now, I got my weekends open because I'm not DJing right now. At the bar that I was DJing at before.
Hell yeah. Wait a minute. You saying you DJing with the 1s and the 2s and the turntables?
Yeah, I don't do the turntables yet, but I do the mix. I got my mix board and I play everything, bro. I even throw in some ICP at the fucking bar.
Hey.
Like, they're like, oh shit. And they'll be like, hey man, what was that song that you just played?
I didn't know I liked that.
Yeah, they were like, I like that. I was like, oh, that's my boy Hex with Shaggy 2 though. It's called Another Day. And they're like, oh, okay. And then the Knot's got some fire tracks that I want to start getting out there too, man. You know what I'm saying? Pop out, titties pop out, and titties pop out. That one, and there's a couple other ones that I want to get out there that I know the crowd will love, man. You know what I'm saying?
Oh fuck yeah! Can underground artists submit music to you that you spin their tracks for them?
Yeah, I don't know. I can check it out if they do it on YouTube. Or send me a YouTube link, I can play it on my Twitch channel, because that's what I do. I play music on my Twitch channel, and if an artist sends me something, a YouTube link, I will definitely play it on my YouTube, and they can send it whether it's my Facebook or my Instagram, but they send me the link, I'll click on it, it'll take me to that YouTube video, I'll play the song, even if it's just audio, I'll play the song and I'll let my listeners check it out and peep it out, and then I'll give my critique from there. Now, if I say some fucked up shit, don't be mad. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being honest, but
it's part of the business.
I'm gonna let you know it's fire. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah.
I keep it 100.
Yeah, I always say if you're an artist out there and you get offended by someone giving you some critique or guidance, you're probably not in the right industry, because starting off, you need someone to give you honest feedback, yo.
Hell yeah. Even wrestling, even independent wrestlers, bro. If anybody's got some independent wrestling and matches that they want me to check out, I'll check it out. And if it's good, I'll try to pass it on up the ladder for JC Dub, man. You know what I'm saying? It can't hurt, bro. I'm trying to hook up the underground as best as I can, brother, and try to help you out with your channel as best as I can.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I freaking loved seeing you there in JCW doing the commentating. That shit was fucking awesome. Also,
yeah, I love being there, bro. I love being there. But like it says, with the whole back situation still healing up, I just wasn't able to go out tours and stuff with them like that.
Yeah.
So as they do stuff closer to home, I think I'm gonna get more opportunities to do some stuff in Detroit around there. Yeah.
Well, whoop whoop to you, Manny Fresh 187. Make sure you go check him out on YouTube. He got some awesome gun reviews. I saw you the other day with a freaking big ass army gun. Like, what the freak? I know where I'm going when the apocalypse happens. I'm in a Manny's house.
Yeah, you got some shit. I got some shit. You know what I'm saying? You got to nowadays, man. That's what I say. If people love guns, man, check out my YouTube channel. I'm gonna start putting a little bit of regular stuff on there. But right now, I've been posting a lot of my YouTube gun videos. So yeah. But no, man, I appreciate it. Thank you for your time. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for
Hell
having
yeah.
me.
Whoop whoop. Everyone show love to Manny Fresh. Huge respect to the man they call Alcatraz 187 pulling up and keeping it authentic with us tonight. If this conversation hit you, if it made you think, or if it gave you new perspective, don't keep it to yourself. Make sure you like, follow, and subscribe to Manny Fresh across all platforms. Support independent voices that keep it real, speak with integrity, and stand on their truth. And as always, this is the Underground Nation Podcast. Your host with the ghost, Bounce Ball Boogie. Stay real, stay underground, and we'll see you next time. Woo woo.
You've been listening to the Underground Nation Podcast. Huge respect to today's guest, Manny Fresh, aka Alcatraz 187, for bringing real insight, real experience, and real conversation to the table. If you connected with this episode, make sure to follow Manny Fresh across all social platforms and tap into his world support independent voices that keep it honest and unfiltered. And for more exclusive content, interviews, and underground culture, visit undergroundnation.com and download the Underground Nation app today. Now available on the Google Play Store. Stay connected, stay independent, stay underground. This has been the Underground Nation Podcast with your host with the ghost, Bounce Ball Boogie.